Evelyn. Um, I just wanted to make this video because I know I've been getting a lot of questions about what exactly it is that I do to get the results that I have been getting on my weight loss. Let me start a little bit with my story. I've always been overweight. Ever since I was little. One of my nicknames was like little chubby girl as when I was little. It was supposed to be endearing, but I've always had an issue with it. I guess deep down, like, nobody wants to be called a little fat girl, but it's something that I've been used to, and I was just tired of it. I got married at a young age. I was 17 when I left my family, my parents, to a town 30 minutes away from where I'm originally from, and my family's conservative, religious, Catholic, Hispanic family. So for me to just like leave, my family had a lot of issues, and I just didn't want to be there. So I left. I mean, I told my parents that I was leaving, but I didn't really give them the option for them to stop me. I just pretty much told them I'm leaving, and these are the reasons why. But anyways, so I left with my husband that I'm currently with him still. I love him, but it was a hard first few years for me. I was depressed just being away from my family, and even though I had so many problems with them, I got depressed. I wanted to get away from them, but when I truly was away from them, where I couldn't see them every day, it was hard. The depression that I didn't know I had depression led me to eat. It led me to hide food away from my husband. I would go, there was like 3 fast food restaurants in that town where we lived at the time, and I would go while he was at work and hide the evidence from him. So I was on top of like eating with him. We would not eat healthy. I would also hide food. In the first 2 weeks that I was with him, that I had moved away from my family, none of my clothes fit anymore. Back then I was still heavy. I was probably around 250 pounds. But I felt good. I felt good about myself. Then after that, I stopped keeping track of my weight. I knew I was somewhere around the 300s when I went and changed my last name, which was probably about probably a few months after we got married, which we got married November of 2012. So, probably around that time is when I changed my driver's license, and I already knew I was over 300 pounds. But of course, everybody lies on their weight at the driver's license place, and I just put 300, and I already knew I was over 300 at that point. I mean, I didn't know exactly what my weight was, but I knew that's where I was. Okay, so fast forward a few years to December of 2018. Me and my husband had been having issues with conceiving, and we hadn't really wanted to know if we could or we couldn't. We didn't want to know that I especially didn't want to know I was the problem, and that was the reason why I couldn't have kids. I wasn't able to have kids. I never wanted to know. So I never went to a doctor. Before December, I didn't have regular periods. Just whenever, and it'd be a day in the middle of nowhere where I'd have my period, another 4 or 5 months, and then another period, and I just didn't care to know why that happened to me. So finally we went to a doctor. It's out of town. It was just a family doctor, and I got a lot of blood work done. What my doctor told us was there was a possibility that I had POS syndrome, which is like cysts in your ovaries, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get a lot of information at first, but that was without blood work that she told me that I might have POS. So at that moment when I went to the doctor, that's when I first like really knew how much I weighed. And at that time I weighed 355 pounds, and that was like my heaviest. I was closer to 400 than to 300, and it's scary to even think about being close to 400. But I felt great. I felt good about myself, so I didn't see any issue with it until we got the blood work results back, and she told me that I had diabetes. Oh man, that hit me hard. My dad has diabetes. My dad's dad had diabetes. My grandma on my mother's side has diabetes, and that's not what I wanted. I was like, I'm too young to have diabetes. I don't want to be restricted on what I can eat. But the doctor told me that I was at a point where I could either reverse it with some healthy eating and exercise, or if I continued the way I was just gonna be on medication. So the doctor had already prescribed me metformin, but metformin, it could either be used for diabetes, or it also helps with fertility, with your menstrual cycle and all that. So that's why I had already gotten that prescribed before she told me that I had diabetes. I was taking that twice a day, and at first it didn't make me feel, I guess, not nauseous, but I just didn't want to eat, which is, I know it's bad, but it did help me a little bit to start keto. Yeah, when I found out I had diabetes, it really put everything into perspective, and I knew I had to do something to change the way that my life was continuing. So it was after Christmas time, after the holidays, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to start with all these New Year's resolution people that go to the gym. But I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm doing it for me and for my doctor, because she said conceiving could even losing 5 pounds, at least 5 pounds or more, helps with conceiving and fertility. So I was like, so I had another appointment coming up in May, and I wanted to at least do something to show my doctor that I really was committed to conceiving. So around after the holidays, I had spoken to my sister, and she talked to me about keto and all the rules about it, which I'm not a keto police. I'm not strict. But I got some information from her on the diet, and she was trying to convince me, and I finally said, well, it sounds a little bit doable, so I'm gonna give it a try. I had already been working out for like a week and like eating healthy for a week, so it was like, what's the worst that can happen? Let me try it. So at first I would ask my sister all the time, like, can I eat this? Can I eat that? Is that keto? Is this keto? But I ended up having to do tons of research on my own. So Pinterest was a lot of help. At first I was eating a lot of foods that weren't keto, I find out later. But it didn't matter, because even though I would eat these foods that I didn't eat keto. Like, for example, I would eat carrots. And I know that's not keto, but it didn't do a big deal of a difference because I only ate a little bit of it. So the first week that I started on keto, I had lost 8 pounds. And this was with not only keto, this was also with exercising. And I think the first few weeks, like, what I would do is give myself at least 2 days where I didn't have to go to the gym. 2, 3 the maximum. It was hard for me to make myself go to the gym, but I did. So after I saw the scale and I'm like, and I saw that I had lost 8 pounds, I was like, oh wow, like, this really works. And that's when I became addicted to losing the weight. Yeah, it was really hard at first, but you get used to it. I was always eating. Everywhere I went, I had snacks. At work, I had a cupboard full of snacks. At home, even in the car, everywhere I went, I had snacks. Just because I knew that if I would get hungry, I would have the option of having something healthy and keto and not just grab whatever I found that wasn't keto. So everywhere I went, I stocked up on snacks, and I was always eating. So after breakfast, if I was still hungry, I would eat, I don't know, like a Jello or a cheese stick or something. After lunch, after dinner, after a workout, I was always eating, but it was keto food. So the way I replaced my carbs was by always eating but low carb foods. It was hard at first because I always want to think about plans and like have everything in perspective, and I don't think that's really healthy when you do when you're talking about weight loss, just because I always thought, oh my gosh, I'm 355 pounds. Like, if I want to get back to where my first goal is, where I wanted to get back to my weight when I had left my family, or when I had gotten with my husband, which was 250, which is still not great, but it's better than where I was at. And that was my first goal, or that is my first goal. And I thought about it the first month, and I was like, oh my gosh, at this rate, at the first month, I probably lost maybe 20 to 15 pounds. I'm not certain, but I always thought, oh my god, at this rate, I'm gonna have to take a whole year. I cannot do a whole year of keto. Like, I just can't. No, like, I can't do this. But I just kept on going. I was like, at least I'm trying. I was like, at least if I lose 1 pound a week, at least I'm doing something. At least I'm not going up. At least I'm not gaining more. I just knew that I had to do something. I had to keep on going on. And it was hard because I did want to lose the weight faster. I still think about it now. Like, oh, it's not fast enough. I need more. I need to lose more. But at least I was doing something, and on my own terms. Like, I feel like if you want keto to work, it has to be by your own will. So I knew that I wanted to do it, and I liked it, and it worked for me. And so I remember going into GNC one time and talking to one of the clerks there, and he was asking me about what I did, and I was telling him about keto. He's like, oh, keto. He's like, I think for you to do keto, you have to be real strict. And to a certain extent, it's true. From January to April, I had no cheat days. April was my birthday, so I had one cheat meal, and I fasted. I didn't eat anything else. I just ate that one meal for my birthday. I think I've had maybe one more cheat meal after that. I'm not gonna say that cheat meals are a big no, but for me, it was better for me not to have a cheat meal. And then eventually you get used to not having them. Having the bread, the rice, I just felt like I didn't need it. So right now I currently am at 95 pounds that I've lost, and that was, I weighed myself on Sunday. Today is Monday, so yesterday. I usually weigh myself on Sunday, and I'm 5 pounds away from my first goal, so it's pretty exciting. I still feel, I know, like, you might look at me and think, oh, you don't look like you've lost weight, but I feel a lot better. I'm in a better mental state. I feel I can breathe better. Just exercising in general. I used to play soccer in high school, and I have I have problems with one of my knees, and every time I would run, it would take me maybe about like a minute before my knee started hurting. So I didn't like to run. I hated running. I just hated it. I was like, who likes to run for fun? It's crazy. But then I made myself run a few times at first when I was first going to work out, and the longest I could run was at the most 3 minutes, and that was on 0 incline, and I was super slow, and it wasn't very fast. I preferred the bike or the elliptical. Well, it was mostly the bike that I was doing at first. So then I slowly started running more. I got up to 5 minutes, and when I got up to the 5 minutes, I felt amazing. I felt so good. I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself for running 5 minutes, and you might think that's not a lot, but for me it was, just with me having knee problems, and my shins would hurt a lot just from soccer, and then the weight, of course, wasn't making it any easier. So then about maybe like 3 months ago, I started running a mile, which I haven't done that, a few years, quite a long time. Probably since I was in high school, and that was maybe, I graduated in 2012, so yeah, it's been a while. I ran a mile in 15 minutes, which is very slow for some of you guys out there, but for me it was a big accomplishment. Now I'm running, I can run up to 20 minutes straight without stopping. Still pretty slow, but for me it's still pretty good. I enjoy it. I enjoy running, and I enjoy pushing myself to another minute, 2 minutes, and slowly but surely I'll get hopefully to 2 miles eventually. It's right now I'm doing 1.5 miles, so I just gotta keep trying on my exercise. But I feel great. So right now, I started in January. Today we're in the beginning of August, and I feel like I'm doing good. Obviously, like, sometimes I want carbs, but for the most part, I'm good with the keto. There's usually ways to go around it. But this is my, like, first introduction video, like, just on my story and everything. And there will be another video on the next 5 pounds to my goal. So it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, the span of the next video, just on like what I do and how long it takes me to lose the next 5 pounds. Because I did talk to my doctor in May, and I forgot to say that, I guess in May, I talked to my doctor, got more blood work, and she told me I didn't have diabetes anymore. I reversed it, which I'm pretty proud of, because I don't want diabetes. I'm pretty sure none of you guys do either. So I mean, I'm always gonna have to take care of myself, just because I have family that we come from diabetes. But I'm just happy that I currently don't have it. I am still on metformin just for fertility reasons, but we did talk to my doctor about maybe waiting on having a baby, just because I want to lose more weight, and I just want a more healthy pregnancy, not for vanity reasons, just like for health, and like to have a healthy pregnancy. So yeah, I'm good on my health, which is like the most important part but I want more. I want more health. I feel great. I just want to feel better. So yeah, the next video will be like my next 5 pounds that I'll lose till leading up to my goal weight, my first goal weight, which is 250 pounds, which I haven't weighed that probably since December of 2011 is my last me last weighing 250 pounds, which I have lost that much, but I still know I need more. So keep an eye out on that video. So join me on my journey on losing that last 5 pounds, and help me celebrate to my next first goal, hopefully pretty soon. By the way, here are a few pictures of my before and afters. In the first picture, I probably was like, that was my heaviest, 355 pounds. The second picture in the middle, that one is probably about 30 pounds lost. And the last picture you see there, it's me currently. It was taken today, the same day that I took this video.